Hey guys, welcome to this new video. Today I'm going to show you a few of the games that I've played in my Road to 2000 series. And not just any game, I'm gonna show the games in which I played cheaters. So the funny part about this video is gonna be that most of these players that I've played here are probably didn't cheat yet when I played them, but they cheated later. That's probably what happened. And I'm just gonna show you here. So all of the accounts, all of the videos, or all of the games that I'm going to show you right now, there are 7 games, are against players who have been banned because of cheating. I recently had someone underneath my video ask if I could make more videos about the games that I've played during my Road to 2000 series and explain my thought process during that game. So we're just gonna analyze these as if they're normal games, but the funny part is that these players have been caught for cheating later. Like I mentioned, I don't think most of these players didn't cheat against me yet. It wasn't very obvious at least, so you know. Okay, so here we are playing as a 1130 against an 1123, and quite a long time ago, as you can see. We played this game with an 85% accuracy and my opponent with a 79% accuracy. So definitely no alarming rates of accuracies at this point. And let's see, this game started off with a Caro-Kann. I like to play the c5 move here, the early c5 move. They can take, gambits a pawn, but you know, one of these pawns are gonna fall quite soon. There's a few ways you can play this, but I like to play c5 here. Bishop b5, bishop d7, takes, knight takes. All pretty normal stuff. Decided to take and play e6, a very common structure that can occur in the Caro-Kann, of course. With the two passed or the two connected pawns here and the blockade here. You usually like to put your knight on f5 here in this opening, although I gotta admit at this point it is a little bit different, because usually I think you put your knight here, or you have I think your knight is supposed to be on c6, not on d7. So obviously my opponent here played bishop b5 and we traded off bishops, and I played knight d7 because of that, but knight c6 is the idea here to attack the d4 pawn. However, in this particular situation this was a little bit different. Don't think it matters a whole lot. I mean, you know, So yeah, we got out of the opening relatively okay. My opponent here playing queen c2 and then queen b3 after a tempo with the rook, which is not the best thing. Now the queen is a little bit misplaced here. I mean, it's darkened this pawn, but you know, I can just play a move like this. I can, do whatever. b5 is exactly what I did. Although b5 there is maybe this move, but it doesn't work right now because obviously I have enough attackers on this square, so you know, there's gonna be a free pawn for me. So he brought his knight back, and now you can really see that this queen is really misplaced. You should probably move it back and get some attack somewhere else, because yeah, this queen is just not on the right square here. Queen b6, knight e2, rook c4, bishop e3, knight x e3, queen x e3. So now he frees up his queen a little bit. I brought my other rook to the open file. Up until this point, a pretty normal game, not gonna lie. Really not that much going on. He played b3. I played rook c2, rook f to c1. Yeah, I mean, my opponent up until this point for an 1100, he plays very well, which is, I mean, I wouldn't say concerning. I mean, he just plays a normal game. This queen maneuver was obviously not very good, but you know. Queen d3. This is the first real mistake here. Not actually sure why it is such a big mistake. Probably we'll see. Yeah, rook x c1. Rook x c1, rook x c1, knight x c1, and bishop x a3. Okay, well, I managed to find it in the game. I couldn't find it just now, but in the game, okay, I managed to find it. He hangs a pawn here on a3. Okay, that makes sense. So knight a2, and now knight f8 is a big mistake. Okay. I was probably in this position looking at my position and thinking, okay, I need to probably activate my weakest piece, and that is obviously this knight, having really no forward mobility. But I could have also maybe played something like this and then maybe got my knight here or something. which is apparently the best move. Okay. Yeah, okay, so Knight of 8 is a little bit, I can see why Knight of 8 isn't the best move. I mean, you really only could go here, and I don't think this is the right square or right path for my knight. I should have maybe even went here, which would be a little bit better, but I think this is a little bit better, not a whole lot, but maybe a little bit. Yeah, okay, so it is indeed a little bit better. So I brought my knight to the wrong square, and now b4. Wow, b4 is a nice move. Bishop b2, queen d2, bishop a1, queen d1, bishop b2, queen d2. Honestly, I gotta admit, I mean, my opponent here plays a little bit suspicious for an 1100, not gonna lie. If I look at this game, if I look back at this game, he's playing a little bit suspicious for an 1100, not gonna lie. I play it suspicious as an 1100 too, but I am in fact not an 1100 rated player at the moment I played this. I was much better, so it is a bit, yeah, you know. So yeah, now that I look back on it, I can see that there are some weird things going on. Yeah, maybe he was already slightly cheating in this game, because he's playing very well. He's playing very well. So bishop a3, queen d3 is a mistake, because now I have bishop x b4, and then after knight x b4 I can play a5, and then knight c2, and then b4. So now I have two connected passed pawns. So I found a way to utilize these two pawns to make a pretty nice to get a pretty nice position. But yeah, like obviously, if you're playing an 1100 and he plays like this, it is very yeah, either he's a much higher rated player, or he is cheating, which is yeah, one of the two, because this was definitely, he's playing better than an 1100, that's for sure. In the opening he did some weird things, but later he found pretty nice moves. So I can pretty much, I can see why he might have been cheating already. He might be someone who can play a little bit, but cheats a little bit throughout the game, because you know, yeah, like I mentioned, it is a bit concerning, these moves. Queen b3, knight g6, knight f to e1, knight f4, knight d3. So here he makes his first mistake. Yeah, I probably missed it. Yeah, I missed it. The best move here would have been just a take, and then maybe just to push through. Yeah, okay, so I could have just taken and just, yeah, if you move this knight, I can just push again. You have to go all the way back here. I can push my other pawn. You know, maybe this was the right idea. Yeah, so I kind of misplayed it here. I thought I could give the check and take this pawn, and then, you know, after the taking here, I can, yeah, after taking here, I could have taken back, and you know, I could get this position on the board, which should be pretty decent for me. But sometimes one of the most difficult things one of the most difficult things I find in chess is that properly utilizing your passed pawns, because sometimes I don't figure, or I don't have a good sense of how strong passed pawns really are. Because this is, I mean, the idea here that you push his knight away and almost get, I mean, you kick a knight away with tempo, and now you're almost promoting. You force him back, and now you can push the other one. Just things like this, I definitely need to improve in this aspect of the game, because this is, I mean, I don't evaluate properly how good this is, and that is definitely a flaw in my game. So you know, that is something I should work on. But you know, I just thought I could win a pawn, which I thought was very good, which it is not particularly super good. So we did some shuffling, and both didn't really find the best continuations here, but yeah, at a certain point my opponent decided to offer a queen trade, which I thought was a big mistake, because obviously I still have the passed pawns and now I could push. However, now it's not as strong. Yeah, and for some reason here my opponent played knight c4. So yeah, looking back at this game, I can definitely see some alarming signals. I mean, this definitely feels like someone who has been cheating, and yeah, he played a very good game, but definitely yeah, isn't as strong as he looks like when he's cheating. So definitely an alarming game. I think my opponent could have already been cheating at this point. I definitely think so. Yeah, it feels like he just cheated some moves periodically, and then played a little bit himself, and you know, because knight c4 after such a game is I mean, nobody does that. Nobody. No. If you're that strong, if you're strong enough, like you can see in this video that he plays a very good way, you don't blunder a knight in one move. It just doesn't happen. Yeah, if you mouse slip, but I mean, he took 12 seconds. So Okay, this already took 10 minutes talking about this single game. A very interesting game though. I think the other ones will be a little bit shorter, but yeah, I mean, if you can see from this game, I definitely think my opponent was already a little bit cheating. He played a good game, but in the end there he blundered and he managed to lose the game. So yeah, okay, let's go on to the next one. We have another one here. My opponent here has also been caught for cheating in a later stage in the after playing me, and this one it's very obvious that he didn't cheat in this game. So you know, you can quickly analyze this. This is a very short game as well. We got into the Caro-Kann here, of course, my favorite opening. He played bishop b3, I played knight f6, and he played queen f3. And yeah, I mean, this already shows this is the kind of game you expect from an 1100. I mean, not gonna lie, this is, I mean, bringing out your queen on move what is it, move 5, trying to get a scholars made in the Caro-Kann, or you know, some attack here. This is the kind of play you expect from an 1100. But yeah, of course, I just played e5, knight c3, e4, queen f4, bishop e6, bishop a4. Like I mentioned, these types of moves, this is what you expect from 1100. These types of moves, which makes sense. But you know, it's a big difference. I think I've showed this game like a few times at this point. But the funny part about this game is that my opponent here, I mean, my opponent did a few things wrong. I mean, he clearly did a few things wrong. And I mean, if from the get-go, I mean, this is still a move. Bishop c4 is a move here, and bishop b3 is also good. But queen f3 is just bad. I mean, that is just bad. That is not good. You should bring out your knights. You should bring out your bishops. You should castle. You know, you'd get your get a decent position. E5, knight c3. So knight c3 is also okay. Queen f4 is a little bit weird. I would probably play something like queen g3 in that line, preventing the bishop from coming out, because you can take. So queen g3 would have probably been a little bit more accurate, I expect. Yeah, probably, yeah. And so if it's just some minor things that you can notice. Okay, this is not, this player is maybe a little bit lower rated than the previous one. Bishop a4, definitely not a good move. Taking here is definitely even worse, because I mean, now look at this basic pawn structure for me. This knight is pretty much already on a very bad square, of course. No real forward mobility. So yeah, I mean, you could just easily sense that this player was not cheating. I mean, this is the kind of game you expect from an 1100, of course. So bishop d6, e3, and now the beautiful d4. I don't know if you've been watching my channel for a little bit longer, you've probably seen this video come around, or this particular game come around a few times. I've covered it. I've covered it on multiple occasions. I think probably because of this beautiful d4 move. I mean, these types of moves is what makes chess enjoyable for me personally. I mean, this is why I like chess, because after taking here with the queen, I can go bishop g3, and now I take the queen for free because it's unprotected. And yeah, there's nothing else you can do. You can't take if you go anywhere else. I can just take knight. So yeah, definitely noticeable that in this game my opponent didn't cheat. So yeah, of course this guy is definitely did it only later apparently, but in this situation I'm pretty much 100% confident that he didn't cheat yet. Okay, let's go to the next one. We have another game here. Let's see if we can find some alarming signals in this game. Let's see if I can remember what this game was all about. Okay, so obviously I played the Caro-Kann. I think my entire road to 2000, I literally only played the Caro-Kann as black. Like I need to go ahead and learn the Sicilian, because I really want to learn the Sicilian. I want to learn how to play it as black, because that also improves my knowledge about the opening as white. But the Sicilian is a very complex line with a lot of different things you have to know. The reason why I want to learn the Sicilian is because of the Alien Gambit. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, with the Alien, you did it. I mean, you did it. You made me really doubt the Caro-Kann. I mean, it's not gonna. I'm not gonna lie. It's honestly, I've been checking out my game stats against the Alien Gambit, and I've lost. I have like a loss percentage of like 88%. I lose like almost all of my games against the Alien Gambit. And the funny part is, if you look at the Alien Gambit, it's like 88% for white when I'm playing black. And if you look at any other line in that particular situation, so the knight g5 move is of course the Alien Gambit, but you also have knight f6, you have knight g3, But any other of those moves, I have like a win percentage of like 70-75%. So it's unbelievable, because literally only the Alien Gambit is it's breaking my entire Caracal. I love the Caracal, but not if it plays against the Alien Gambit. So very, very nice that with the Alien was able to really make a opening that destroys the Caracal. So props to him. Okay, so knight c6, d3, d4, knight xc, bishop c6, nice move, bx c6, e4, knight e4 of course, e5, f3, knight f3. Yeah, so white is a little bit better here. Up until this point, my opponent has played pretty good actually. Yeah, I don't know if I would call this alarmingly good. I don't know if I would call this alarmingly good, but for a 1300, this is too good. Yeah, I mean f4. That is yeah, I don't know. F4 is interesting. Let's keep it at that. Yeah, so honestly, if I look back at this game, yeah, I could definitely see that my opponent was probably already cheating here. Yeah. I mean, it's sometimes it's very, very difficult to say, because you know, these types of players, what they do is they cheat like one or two or like a few moves in the middle game here, and they just find very good moves, and then it's like, okay, that might be an honestly good found move. But then at the same time they play moves like rook h6 and they allow f5, and it's just so difficult to say if they actually are cheating or if they are just good players, and yeah, they are just a little bit lower rated than they should be. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely I definitely see that my opponent might have been cheating here. Yeah, might have been. Yeah, because it's a little bit dubious. It's a little bit dubious. And then maybe he plays a move like this without the engine, and then maybe he plays 2 or 3 moves with the engine again. Yeah, it's difficult to say. But if you look at this game compared to the previous one, I think the previous one was very obvious that nobody was cheating. In this game, it is not as obvious. So yeah, okay. So gx f5 is obviously a blunder, and I played e3, which is a mistake. I should have played ex d3, completely hanging a rook. But then if I go here, there's no way to stop the pawn. Once again, like I mentioned earlier, I have a blind spot for passed pawns. I don't fully understand how strong passed pawns are, and that is definitely something that I should improve upon. Because if I look at a position like this, I'm like, okay, I can't take here because I lose a rook. But you need to go even further than that. You need to look at, okay, what if I go here? I'm almost promoting a pawn. I lose a rook, but what is my next move? What am I doing after that? Okay, I can play d2. Wait, after d2, how's he gonna stop the pawn? There's no rook here, because I just take and promote. There's no other way to bring the rook around. There's no way to stop this pawn. The king can't come down. It's just queen. You make a queen here, and you're winning the game. So, yeah. I missed that. I played e3, and he played rook h4. I played c5. He played c3. I played rook g8 check. He played king h2, and I took the pawn here. He took this pawn here, and now I played rook f2 and rook h1, and now e2. So eventually I managed to find a way through, and yeah, even against someone who was probably cheating. I suspect he was already cheating in this game, but you know. I managed to find a way through, and e2 is a nice move, because I mean his king is completely cut off. There's no way to bring. I mean, you can't even go here, because if I do this, I take the rook, and you know, it's also losing. So yeah, very nice. He gave a check. I got up. He gave another check. I got up again. He goes rook b1. I go rook f1, and now it's just a simple checkmate. So yeah, I mean, if I look back at this game, I would say he was cheating. Yeah, I would say he was probably cheating some moves here during the game, not all of them, but I suspect he was a cheater already during this game. Yeah, difficult to say, but I suspect he was. So, okay, let's go ahead and play one more, or analyze. This is obviously, once again, a short one, which is nice. Here, I highly doubt my opponent was cheating, but okay, we were already 1661 at this point, my opponent 1640. We got into a copycat variation in the Vienna, of course, and I play queen g4, of course, the best move, queen f6, knight d5, and my opponent here plays queen d6, which is an immediate blunder. Yeah, this is a very sharp line. I played this 8 times as white with an 88% win rate, apparently. I got into this position 8 times with 88% win rate. I exactly remember which game I lost. It was a terrible game. I'm still mad about that one. Okay, so queen d6 is obviously a very bad move. I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe I understand it a little bit. You want to maybe protect this fork, but I mean, you hang this pawn. You have to go here, here, and here, which is very difficult to see. And if you don't notice, I mean, you know, you're almost certainly not gonna realize that that is the best move. So queen d6 obviously hangs the pawn on g7 after knight d4. I mean, I can probably even take here and just allow this, and then take here, and I'm like literally already mating here probably. He has to. Apparently, well, he can't go here because of the knight. He has to go back here, and then I can go here. Or, I don't know, some things going on here. It's already pretty much completely winning for white. However, in the game, I decided to simply protect the pawn and disallow the fork, which is okay. No need to overcomplicate things. My opponent here plays bishop x f2, which is also not good. I mean, you know, it's not good. He played queen c5. I went back with my king. He took the pawn here on c2. I took his rook here. He took this pawn. I put my knight back. He played king of 8. Now I played rook a4. A very nice move, rook a4. Copying in with tempo, swinging over my rook. Obviously you can't take, it's protected. So a very nice move, and he played queen g6, and now rook g4, another very nice move, protected by the knight, of course. So yeah, very nice. I could go here, take his queen, and he resigned. So at this, yeah, I mean, really, the funny part about chess is, I mean, funny, sometimes it's not as funny if you're the losing side, but I mean, one of the parts about chess is that one move could be all it takes. I mean, queen d6 is such a losing move that you immediately, there's no way back. I mean, you're probably already completely lost. Even after queen d6, you're pretty much already lost. If your opponent knows what he's doing, I mean, it's pretty much over already. So yeah, I mean, in this game, I would say obviously not cheating. I mean, yeah, pretty clear. I mean, he played some decent moves in the after blundering, but definitely not cheating, if I would say so. So yeah, I mean, Vienna Gambit is very strong. Vienna game is very strong. This is not a gambit, of course, but Vienna game is very strong. Okay, let's go ahead and play, or I say it again, let's go ahead and analyze one more. Yeah, okay, here I was already 1838 against an 1861, and this is the first one that I actually lost against a player that has been caught for cheating. I don't actually think I've got my rating points refunded for this one, probably because I just played a bad game too, but it wasn't in this game it wasn't obvious that he was cheating. Maybe very difficult to say if he was in this game or not, but yeah, okay. This is one of the games that I would honestly don't really know if he was cheating. I mean, the other 4 we've covered up until this point, it was very clear that 2 weren't and 2 were cheating, but this game, difficult to say, very difficult to say. So we got into a fantasy variation of the Caro-Kann. Yeah, sometimes I push through here, sometimes I don't. Apparently this is the best move, something like this. If you're playing a good player, he immediately goes c5 probably, so you know. Okay, so let's see, I played knight c3, e6, bishop g5, queen b6, knight a4. Already a bit of dubious play from my side, not gonna lie. I mean, I didn't play a very good game here. So c3, covering the knight with my queen, of course, and also protecting the check. Dx e4, and then I took here. Obviously if I take here, he takes a free bishop, so let's not hang that. So I took here, and then I took back, and now he played b5, I played knight c5, he takes, I take, he plays knight d7, and I play b4. And at this point I was pretty happy with my position. I thought, okay, I have some compensation for my bad play in the opening. I played a decent game up until this point. Yeah, and at a certain point, I just play very bad. Also here, I should probably just go here. I don't really know what I was afraid of. I was afraid of losing this pawn or something. I don't really understand why, because there's like a million ways to defend it, but you know. So I played bishop d3 first, which is not very good. He played queen e5, now I played queen d2. He played a5, nice move, I think. knight f3, queen h5, and castles. And yeah, obviously, okay, so also castles is the best move according to the computer. But yeah, I was like, okay, let's just castle probably, because I'm covering this with my queen. I don't know, these pieces are very inactive. If I look at this position, I would probably think, okay, I have enough reason not to be afraid of castling. So yeah, there you go. Queen g8, rook a to d1, and now rook a3, queen or bishop e2, queen g6, and here I started playing like absolute trash, unfortunately. At this position, yeah, obviously it looks very dangerous, and my props to my opponent for making it very dangerous. I mean, the funny part about this position is that I saw that I can't go here, because he can just take. And if I take back, I'm getting mated. So at this point I saw that there's no real way to get this bishop out of here and protect this with my queen. So then I thought, okay, maybe I can go knight h4, attack the queen and protect at the same time. But yeah, this is not a good move, because it also hangs this pawn, apparently. Although this pawn is probably already gone. Yeah. Okay, apparently now this is a mistake. Not really sure why. Yeah, apparently this is a mistake. Why is this a mistake? Let's see if we can find out why this is a mistake. Maybe to trade off queens or something here? Nope. Okay. Because of this move. Okay. Just playing, getting your own counter attack probably. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, from this point forward, like I mentioned, I just start playing like absolute trash. I play knight h4, which is bad. He just takes the pawn. I play bishop f3, which just completely hangs the knight in one move. And yeah, I mean, you can't really blame my opponent for cheating here, because I just play like trash, so, you know. And at the same time, I also don't feel like he was cheating here, because it isn't really alarmingly good or something. I mean, he just takes some stuff that is free, which just makes a lot of sense. Also, rook a7 isn't very accurate. Stuff, minor things like that. If I look back at this, I suspect he wasn't cheating here, but it is very difficult to say. I mean, you know. So bishop. So the funny part about this position is that I'm actually better, even though I'm down 3 points in material, completely down one piece, just completely down a piece. I'm actually better. Not exactly sure how I am better here. I think you have to go a4, which is, I mean, looks just insane. I mean, he takes, maybe then you go push and you just try to, you know, advance your pawns. Once again, like, this is like the third game I showed today in which it is very obvious that I just don't know how to play with pawns, because once again, I mean, obviously it's very difficult to find these ideas, but I just completely overlook how strong are passed pawns. I mean, these two are very strong. I just completely don't understand how strong they actually are. So that is something not very good in my gameplay, but okay. I just took here with the bishop, which looks like a free pawn to me, but now he plays queen g5, threatening this again. And here I played c6, the amazing c6, hanging another piece in one move. Although I can take here, but you know, it's still it is not good, because you need to keep your you don't want to trade here, because even though I get a piece back for it, I mean, you know, now it is a bad position, because now I don't really have the strong pass pawns. I don't really have the pin anymore, and my queen is immediately attacked. If I move, he immediately trades off, you know. So a lot of things that makes this position a lot different from the earlier position, even though the material count is equal. So once again, I don't think he was cheating. I was just playing very bad. That's probably what it comes down to in this video, or in this game. Yeah, a few more moves were played. He played queen b6. I played king h1. He played queen b7. I played rook c1. Now he played rook c7. And my dumb ass said, I literally said, oh, that's a free rook. And I hang made it one. It's unbelievable. This game was, I remember this game very vividly, because I played like absolute trash, and that was not very good. I missed a lot of things in this game, but okay, it happens. I mean, sometimes you have to wake up a little bit before you play chess. So my verdict about this game, I don't think he was cheating. I mean, I don't think he was cheating. It is very difficult to say. I mean, you know, he played a few very decent moves. He played a few okay moves. I think he was just playing a normal game, and I just played like trash. But you know. So yeah, let's go on to the next one. We have another one here, and this is once again a game in which I can almost 100% surely say that my opponent was not cheating here. So this game, I remember this one as well, a copycat as well, and then he played g6, which is one of the better moves to play it. I think the best way is to immediately go here. Yeah, I think the computer prefers this, but I mean nobody does this, and g6 is just a very natural response to this opening. Some players, if you are playing someone who's a little bit low rated, they for example play knight f3 here and they immediately blunder d5. So I mean, I can understand why g6 is another very trappy idea. Here, if you're ever playing in this position, you have to move your queen because d5 is now a threat because I can't take here anymore. So you go queen f3 and you threaten checkmate. Then you can go queen f6, you can go knight f6. I mean, it doesn't really matter. My opponent plays knight f6, which is one of the best moves. I play knight g to e2, preventing knight d4. And yeah, now we got into a really a normal game. However, my opponent here makes a big blunder, and I did not take advantage of it. Yeah, the funny part, try to pause this video and look if you can find the best move here. What is the idea here? Why is d6 so bad? It's really, I mean, that makes chess sometimes very hard because d6 looks like a move that, I mean, it feels very natural. You want to bring out your bishop, you want to, you want to be annoying here with the bishop, but this immediately loses. And the reason this loses is because of this knight and because of the move g6. And the reason is I can play bishop g5 and you can not easily protect this anymore. I think you can go knight or king g7, and I believe in this game. I actually mentioned this during the game, and I said that, oh, there's some tricks here with bishop g5 and stuff like that. But I thought it didn't work because after going here with the king, I thought after this he could just take or something. I don't know. I thought this didn't work, but for some reason I miscalculated. Because obviously this does work. Because if, for example, there's no way to protect this anymore. There's just no way. If you go here, I can just go here, and if you can't take back, because if you take back, I just take and you lose your queen, and you know. So yeah, I mean, I for some reason missed this. Yeah, so I played h3, which is just trash. I mean, well, h3 is just, I mean, you know, I wanted to prevent this, of course, but very bad move. I mean, probably even this is better here. I mean, you know, it's not. Actually, this is worse, but you know, okay. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't really matter. I missed the tactic here. So I played h3, he played bishop e6, I played bishop or knight d5, he took, I took, he played knight b4, I played bishop back, c6, now I play bishop h6, rook e8, dx c6, bx c6, and pretty much a normal game. I mean, so the reason why I am like 100% certain that my opponent wasn't cheating here is because he played d6. And obviously it doesn't mean everything. I mean, you could also blunder and then later in the game start your engine, but in this game it was very obvious that he didn't do that. I mean, it was just very obvious that he was just playing a normal, honest game because yeah, as you can see from these moves, bad move, bad move, bad move, bad move. I mean, but none of us were cheating. We were not cheating. This is not a cheating game. So yeah, okay, so bishop g5, knight b to d5, and now I could take here, and then I could take here. So eventually I found a tactic that I had earlier, but eventually I found a way to take advantage of the weak square here. So g6, I mean, if you want to get better at chess, you have to realize that if you play a move like g6, it very much weakens the dark squares, and that is very prone to tactics like this. It is very prone to be able to pin and win the knight here and stuff like that. So if you play a move like g6, what you would ideally like to do is trade off dark squared bishops, because if these two dark squared bishops were not on the board anymore, this is not as weak. This is barely as weak as it is right now. So you know, that is very instructive. But yeah, my opponent didn't do that and allowed me to win the knight there. And yeah, I mean, we shuffled a little bit more. I managed to trade off queens, which is obviously something you should not do here as well. If you are playing with black, you should keep the queens on the board. And we got into this endgame with a knight against a few pawns, and I'm up a pawn and a knight. So this is completely winning, of course, for white, but it is not super easy. And I actually Yeah, I think I played it the right way. So we shuffled a little bit more. I won some pawns here. And the funny part is here, I gave him a little bit of trust and hope that he could still promote his pawn. But the funny part about this is this never actually works, because now there's a problem here. There's a problem here, which is that if you push this pawn, it looks like you're promoting, right? I mean, if you look at this, how do you stop the pawn? Well, there's a very simple way. How much is this knight worth in an endgame like this if you have a passed pawn? Absolutely nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. The reason why you can play a2 here is because I have knight c1, and after going here, I can just take. I mean, if you take back here, there's no way for you to stop the pawn. This is exactly how the game ended, by the way. And very instructive that in an endgame like this, if you're up a knight, sometimes it's okay to sacrifice the knight. I mean, sometimes it's okay to just give up the knight and go for the win with your pawn. Which is exactly what happened in this game. Yeah, so my verdict about this game, obviously not cheating. I mean, this guy was playing a normal game, very, very obvious. Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a single move in which I thought, okay, this might be a cheating move. So, you know, as opposed to the last game, in which there were some moves where you could think, doubtful. But yeah, you know, in this game it was not. So. Yeah, so one more game against someone who cheated, the last one, and this one is a very messy game by both of us. I managed to get a very big, he managed to get a very big advantage, and then I managed to still win the game. So it started off with another Vienna, of course, and he plays the knight here variation, knight f6, and then you have to go d3, because sometimes in the past I played knight f3 here, which is a mistake because he can take. I believe, and then if I take back here, there's this, and this is very good for white or for black. It's actually funny because this is apparently not as good as I thought. Okay, what if there's probably this is very good. Yeah, this is very good because then I have to protect the knight, and the only reason this is good, I thought, because after going back or something and after castling, there's like f5. I think this is something like this. Okay, I don't know. I don't know anything about chess, but maybe you just have to go all the way back and then f5. Nope. Okay, I don't know. I thought I'd study this sometime, and I thought that was the best line. But okay, but yeah, you know, apparently knight f3 is just a move here. I thought actually that you could do this, but you know, okay. What do I know? Okay. However, we got into a decent game. I mean, yeah, honestly, there's not a whole lot of things to say about this game. It's very, very equal. I remember this game, actually. Yeah, I remember this game. My opponent here was being very annoying and brought all his pieces to the king side and started doing all sorts of weird stuff with that didn't exactly work, but were very difficult to counter or know what's going on. So yeah, very annoying because sometimes these types of players can be very difficult to deal with. So here, obviously, this is a weird move, because if I take here, it's mate. So yeah, like I mentioned, very, very annoying types of players that do all sorts of crazy stuff here on the king side. But once again, if I look at this game, already at this point, I'm already thinking, okay, this probably for 99% surely can't be a cheater. I don't think he was cheating in this game, because this is just, it's not very accurate. I mean, even though it looks very difficult and very strong, it is not super accurate. So, you know, and then he played bishop g4, which is another strange thing to do. Yeah, so f5, ex f5, bishop x f5, bishop d4, knight g4 again. This is such a weird game, man. This was such a weird game. My opponent here was doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah, and I just brought the rook back again. He plays knight e5 again. I took, and now I was doing, and here I was doing very bad. So I played knight d5 because my knight is obviously hanging. And I completely missed bishop h3, so he at some point he found his way through. And yeah, I mean, and then he won my rook. Yeah, yeah. This sequence. Yeah, or it's just very nicely found, or he was cheating, but it could be nicely found. I mean, it's very difficult to see though, but you know, it could be very nicely found. Queen d4. Yeah, I don't know. Weird to say, difficult to say. yeah, I mean, the difficult part about these things is that maybe, I mean, you know, maybe he was just playing a regular game up until like this position. Maybe he was just playing a regular game, and then in this position he turned on his engine. You don't know. I mean, you don't know. It's very difficult to say if that's the case or not. Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially now that my opponent has been caught for cheating later. And the funny part about this game is that later on here, because he got in a time scramble, here he was at 34 seconds. Now he started blundering again, and apparently here I just missed maiden 1, by the way, but okay, that doesn't matter. I played c3 thinking now I can take this, which is not necessary at all because I had maiden 1. And my opponent flagged here, I think. Yeah, I think my opponent flagged. So, yeah, a very difficult one to say either or not he was cheating. Yeah, it really breaks for an interesting discussion, because in chess it can be so very difficult to find out if someone is or isn't cheating. It is, yeah, it can be very difficult to honestly to say that with certainty. So yeah, I mean. Yeah, in this game, I don't dare to say if he was or wasn't. I mean, you know, yeah, he played a decent game in the beginning, a little bit weird, but he tried some things which weren't necessarily very bad, and then he found a very nice sequence, which is a little bit dubious maybe, and then in time trouble he blundered. You know, it's difficult to say. But if it comes down to this entire video, I mean, the conclusion is really, I think in like half of these games, my opponents were definitely not cheating when they played me, and then started cheating later when is because of why they got banned. And in like 3 or 4 games, it was dubious. Yeah, so I wouldn't. So in all of these games, there's not a single opponent that very clearly cheated. Obviously, I mean, yeah, people get smarter, and I think if you try playing games with like 99% accuracy, I mean, chess.com bans you in like 30 minutes. I mean, it's pretty much like 5 games and you're already banned probably, because yeah, I mean, it's so obvious. I mean, nobody really does that. So yeah, I mean. Overall, I think like in all of these cheater games, I lost only 1, and in that game I also just played very bad. So I mean, you know, it's none of these players. It was very obvious, but yeah, interesting to see nonetheless. And hopefully you guys enjoyed these videos. Hopefully hopefully you enjoyed these games. Hopefully they also have been instructive and they have been helpful in order for you to get better. I think there were a lot of instructive moments still, but you know. See you guys in the next video. Bye.